Hey guys, Hallie Cottis, founder of Whole Lifestyle Nutrition and author of Natural Solutions for Cleaning and Wellness, and welcome to day 5 of the 100 Days of Natural Living. So today I'd like to discuss why your doctor might be causing you more harm than good. I mean, wow, that's a bold statement. And let me first start off by saying, hey, I'm all for doctors. I really am. And they are incredible. They help us. I'm not saying run out and stop doing what your doctor's telling you. That's not what I'm saying. But sometimes I think that in order to solve our problems, our health problems, we have to look at the big picture. And sometimes we have our blinders on. And today I just kind of want to talk to you about that. So first and foremost, I'm going to start out with a story because you all know I love my stories. But I think that's going to develop a good picture so that you understand where I'm coming from. So, in my past videos, I talked about how I am a twin and how I also have had a set of twins. Aubrey and Britton are my twin daughters. And, when I was pregnant with them, I was 29 weeks pregnant. And I was at the park with one of my girlfriends and her daughter. And we were just sitting here talking, and her little girl just darted off. I mean, it happened so fast. She just darted off towards the street. And so I look over at my friend and I'm like, okay, is she gonna run after her, And like there could be a car coming around the corner. And then you guys, I heard it. I heard a truck and it was coming around the corner. And I looked at my girlfriend and she was like, her feet were glued to the ground, So I just took off and I ran after this little girl, and I hadn't run that fast. I mean, I'm pregnant, I was huge. I mean, I should show you a picture. I was huge with my twins. And I ran after her. And I got to her just before she got the street. And the truck went back and I grabbed her arm. And I was like, oh my gosh, my heart was just racing. And we walked back to the park and there was sand. And there my girlfriend was just still standing there. And she was just, her mouth was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened. I'm so sorry. And she's like, I don't know why, I just couldn't move. And it was no problem. Well, later that night I went home and I felt this extreme heaviness. And I just knew something had happened when I had run. So I called my doctor and I said, hey, listen, I have an issue. I feel heaviness down there and I think that something's going on. So they brought me in right away and I was 4 centimeters dilated. So I was like, oh my goodness. So they immediately put me on bed rest and they started to inject antibiotics to help develop my daughters, at the time I knew they were girls, to develop their lungs, okay? And I was on strict bed rest. I couldn't move, I couldn't, and I managed to hold off delivering my babies for 4 more weeks. And I delivered them at 33 weeks, and as soon as they came out, they gave them another round of antibiotics because, they wanted to make sure that their lungs were strong enough so that they didn't get infections. But, I wanted them to live this healthy life, yes, but deep down inside I knew that those strong antibiotics that they were given, when they were in my womb, when they were, as soon as they got out, those were going to affect their health later in life. I knew that couldn't be good. So, we continued on and my girls did well and they started to, develop into great little girls and, but I had one of my daughters who started to experience issues, and one, she started to get a skin disorder called eczema. And it's where you get patches of skin. Your skin becomes real scaly and really itchy. And it was just terrible. I suffered with it my entire life. I don't now, and I'll explain that in a minute. But anyway, so she had really bad skin disorder, the eczema. Well, then you guys, early on, she developed a issue where she couldn't relieve herself. She couldn't poop. Sorry, yes, we're going to talk about poop. So, I can remember one time she went 17 days. Can you imagine? 17 days without pooping. I take her to the pediatrician and I said, oh my God, she hasn't pooped in 17 days. Oh, Hallie, she's fine. I've seen it before, she'll be just fine. And I said, I vividly remember saying, Dr. Ben, how would you feel if you didn't poop for 17 days? She was miserable. So what does he do? He gives me a laxative. So I mean, I've never seen a 1-year-old on a laxative, and I just knew that wasn't the answer. And for the eczema, he gave me her a cream, to help relieve the symptom, to make it not so itchy. So, I was just sitting here thinking, wait a minute, they're not solving the problem at hand. They're treating the symptoms, What was causing her to get the eczema? But he was giving me an answer to the symptom. What was causing her constipation? Well, he didn't know, so he just gave me something to help with the symptom. But we weren't getting to the core issue at hand. And that's what I'm talking about when your doctor, it's not that they don't have your best interest at hand. They just might not be thinking they're not treating the core issue. So I knew my plan is to figure out what was causing my daughter these issues, and I knew that when you have an antibiotic, I knew that is just, it really affects your gut health. It affects your hydrochloric acid in your body. It affects your liver, and did you know that eczema is rooted from the liver? So is rosacea, so is psoriasis, that's liver issues, okay? And then, there was, that was with the skin disorder, and then the constipation, that was gut issues. I mean, and that's all rooted from taking the antibiotic in my womb and early on. So I was like, okay, but I researched, and I was like, I couldn't find how to solve those problems. And I was like, and then it was like a magic moment. I stumbled upon something, and I stumbled upon celery juice. And I'll never forget it, you guys. Okay, it's like as soon as I saw it, I knew it was the answer to my problems. And it's like I saw celery juice here and here and here and any, it's like kind of like when you get a new car. You never see those cars out on the street, but when you get one, all of a sudden you see them everywhere because you weren't looking, right? Now that you've got one and you're looking at it and you're seeing them, they're everywhere, right? Well, celery juice was like that for me. It could solve this problem and this problem and this problem. So wow, right? How intense is that? And I promise you, I'm doing a whole episode on celery juice because it's that much of a miracle. It is like a super, super, super food, I mean, there's nothing on this planet, I feel, that is not more powerful than celery juice. But again, that'll be another episode. So anyway, so we started to, and including myself, I started giving her a little bit of celery juice. And we just continued on with the celery juice. And miraculously with myself, my eczema issues and hers, over time, my daughter dealt with constipation for the first 5 years of her life. It dissipated. It went away. And you guys, it did take a little time to heal, but we were able to solve her problem. We weren't treating her symptoms anymore. We were no longer using creams. We were no longer using a laxative to help her go to the bathroom. She was doing it on her own because we were solving the issue at hand. The celery juice was giving her back, was replenishing her hydrochloric acid. Her liver was, starting to work more properly, and she started to heal internally. And wow, what a crazy transformation, that is, So she's now this healthy being. She's 13. Her birthday's tomorrow, by the way, the twins' birthday. 13, I can't believe it. And, we haven't had any issues with eczema. We haven't had any issues with constipation. And she is a healthy and vibrant and wonderful, human being, teenager that's enjoying life. I mean, isn't that what we're doing? We're trying to protect their health, and we really truly got to the core of the core problem. We solved that rather than treating the symptoms. And sometimes doctors just get so, focused on treating the symptoms, and I feel that could benefit from trying to solve the problem at hand. So that's kind of this episode today. I hope you enjoy this episode. Again, I do believe doctors are amazing and wonderful, and they do so much for us. But I do think sometimes we need to work on finding a doctor that can treat the whole problem, not necessarily the symptoms. All right, so we will see you on the next time, episode 6 of the 100 Days of Natural Living. Until then, bye-bye. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of 100 Days of Natural Living. If you want to check out yesterday's episode, be sure to check out our playlist right here. And if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, you can do that right here. As always, we have more great content over at WholeLifestyleNutrition.com. So come on over and pay us a visit there as well. Bye-bye.